In this video, we are going to do some 5 questions from the chapter linear equations of two variables. That's a word problem based on linear equations in two variables. Let's begin with the first question. In this question, it says the income of A and B are in the ratio 3:4 and their expenditures are in the ratio 5:7. If each lives with rupees 1000, that means after spending, this is the money left with in each case. What we have to find out is their income. So what we are going to do is to write the statement about their income. So what I have taken here, let the income of the A and B, let the A's income be 3x and B as 4x. And you should remember that we cannot use the same variable for the other ratio. That's why I've taken the expenditure of the first as 5y and that of second as 7y. Well, what you know should know that what you should know that the say whatever the money they saves, right? That is whatever, let's say in case of A is earning 3x and A is spending 5y. So how much money he or she will be left with? That is 3x minus 5y. Income minus expenditure is what? The saving or the money which is left with. So can I say from here, the saving which is 1000 should come as what? 3x minus 5y is equal to 1000. Same way, we can go for the other. B is earning rupees, B is earning rupees 4x and spending, say 7y, right? Say B is spending only 7y. So how much money he or she will be left with will be the difference. Income minus expenditure is the saving. And as you can see in the question, saving in both cases is 1000 rupees. Now we can use elimination or substitutions to get it. Will I go for elimination in this case? I'll be multiplying 4 with this equation and 3 with this equation. What in turn we get after multiplying? We are getting this as 12x minus 20y is equal to 4000. And in the other case, it is 12x minus 21y is equal to 3000. Now next we will change the sign as we are subtracting. So now after subtracting, as you can see, this get cancelled here, right? So you can figure out that this get cancelled. So it is coming as y, right? Because minus 20 plus 21. And this I'm getting as 1000, right? We got y as 1000. Next I'm going to substitute y in any of the equation, right? In there, I can take any of the equations. I'm taking this equation. So in this equation, I'm replacing y, which is how much? 1000. Right? I substituted y from here as 1000, which is equal to 1000. So this is 3x minus 5000 comes out to be 1000. And on transposing, what we are getting this as 6000, right? Why? Because on sub transposing minus 5000 to the other side. So x will come as what? 6000 divided by 3, which is 2000. But here we got the value of x and y and not their income, right? Because they are asking for the income here. We can figure out their incomes are, what is that? 3x and 4x, right? I repeat, they're asking for the income. So the income of A, which is 3x, which is 3 times x, and x is how much? 2000. So that comes out to be 6000. And for B, what is it? The income, as you can see, it is 4x. That means 4 times x, and x is how much? 2000. So this is, we get this as 8000. So this is how we got the income of 2%, but it's important that you write rupees here. So these are the final answers for this question. In the second word problem, it says a man sold a chair and a table together, right, at rupees 1520. So this is the selling price of a chair and a table. And in that case, he's making a profit of 25% on chair and 10% on table. Now, in the second case, he says by selling them together at rupees 1535, he would have made a profit of 25% on, sorry, 10%, right? 10% on chair and 25% on table. So let's begin with the statement. What we are going to write here as a statement should be what? We'll be writing, let the cost price of a chair be X, right? I took the cost price of the chair as X and the cost price of the table as Y. And you must be aware of this relation that selling price, right? The selling price is what SP. How do we get selling price? It is, in case of a profit, it is 100 plus profit percent over 100 and that multiplied by the CP. Well, this is what I'm going to get, right? So if I ask you what is the CP cost, sorry, selling price of a chair, so it should be what? 100 plus the profit percent, and profit in the first case, right? Case one is 25% on chair. So it should be 100 plus 25 over 100 that multiplied by the CP, and CP is what? X, plus similarly if I'm finding out the profit, right? Profit in case of a table. So the table, he is earning 10% profit. So I can say that the profit on the table will be what? 100 plus profit percent, which is how much? 10. That divided by 100 and multiplied by the cost price, which is Y. And that should be equal to, the total selling price. As for the question, you can see it is 1520. This is what I got. Now, after on simplifying this, we can obtain one equation. Let's say if I write this as 125x over 100 on adding these two, x plus it's 110 y over 100 is equal to 1520. So either you can reduce or you may transpose. Let's say if I reduce by 5. Okay, so it's divisible by 25. So 25 5 times, 25 4 times. These zeros get cancelled in this case. So if I take LCM, the LCM is going to be what? 4 and 20 LCM. 4 and 10 LCM is what? 20 here, right? Should I do it in some other place? No, it can be adjusted here. So this is 5 times. So 5 into 5 is how much? 25x. And this is 10 2 times. So 2 into 11 is 22y. That comes to be 1520. And I can simplify this further. Let's say I make some space here and do it over here only. So now I can transpose this value here. Let's say if I transpose, that is, this is 25x plus 22y, and I'll be transposing 20 on the other side. So we need to multiply 20, right? So all you have to remember that on multiplying 152 with 2 only, let's say this is 1 0, another 0, and 2 with this is what? 4, 5 into 2, 10, and 2, 1 in 2 into 1 is 2, 3. This is what we got as the first equation. Now, similarly, we are going to obtain the same relation to obtain another equation. So in the first case, if I look the other part here, so you see that in that second case, the selling price for a chair should be how much? 100 plus, he is obtaining 10% profit in this case, that divided by 100 times the CP, plus in case of a table, it is how much? 100 plus, in this case, in this time, there is a 25% on the table, that multiplied by Y, and he is getting the total selling price as 1535 as per the question, right? So you can see from the question, this information is given over here. Now if I reduce this is what? 110 x over 100, and this is 125y over 100 is equal to 1535. So same way I can reduce here. This is 25 5 times, 25 4 times. So the LCM will be same. That is in the previous case, which is 20 here. And this will come as how much? This is 22x plus 25y is equal to 1535. Now simplifying it further, This is 25y. And this time also I'll transpose this number. So we'll be multiplying 20 this time with 1535. So it should come as 30700. Yeah. So this is the second equation. Now, once we have obtained these two equations, what we are going to do is to solve this. And I'll be using the elimination method here. But there is something important for you to understand here. Let me make some space for the remaining part of the question. So let's say I take this equation, the equation 1 from here, the first equation here I took, and this is this other equation, that is the second equation. Now, there's one method that is called elimination. You'll be doing this, but then you might find these numbers very big. So all you have to observe that here the coefficient of x is same as y, and same way coefficient of y in the first is same as x. So in such a case, if you remember what we do, first we add these two equations. So on adding these two equations, it is how much? 47x plus 47y. And if I add this is 0, 0, 11 plus 1 and 6. So I can take 47 as common. It should be divisible by 47. It's always the case that when you take common here, it is divisible. So if I divide it by 47, so what we are getting is 1300. So that is the first equation. Now I'm writing here x plus y as 1300, say equation 3 here. Now, as we did addition in this case, now I'll be doing subtraction. On subtracting these two equations, let's say minus, 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 what you will observe here that the difference will be same. 25 minus 22 is what? 3x. This is minus 3y. And on the difference here will come as how much? This is minus, this is coming as minus 300, right? 700 minus 400. Now here if I take 3 as common, as you can see on dividing this with 3, I'll get minus 100. Now I'll take this as 4. You can figure out now the equation, two linear equation has become very small, right? And we can now use elimination in these two. So this is the way we solve an equation having involving bigger numbers. So now if I add these two equations, what you'll see, get here, this you can see y and y get cancelled. So it comes out to be 2x. And this is how much? 1200 it is. And therefore x is 600. Once you got the value of x, now you're going to get obtain y. From here, I can obtain y. As you can very clearly see that x on placing 600, I'll get y as how much? 700. So therefore, the final answer will be the cost price of the chair. Cost price of the chair is 600 and the cost price of the table as 700. Rupees is something that you must write. Now let's move to the next question. Now in the next question, it says the last year, 1 kg of tea and 3 kilograms of sugar together cost rupees 96. And this year, the rates of the tea is increased by 10% and that of the sugar increased by 15 and 10%, right? So some amount, so the same amount of the tea and sugar now costs rupees this much. Find the rate of sugar per kg and tea for per kg last year. That means the previous year price we need to know. So what I'm going to do is to take the CP of 1 kg of tea as X and 1 kg of sugar as Y. So now what we can do is from here, it's very clear that if you read the first statement, we know that the cost of 1 kg of 1 kg of tea and 3 kg, right? 3 kg of was that sugar is equal to 96. Very easy to understand. Cost of 1 kg is X only, and cost of 3 kg of sugar will be 3 times Y. And this is what the first equation framed. Now, in the next part, you see that the rates are now increased. It is 10% on the sugar. Was that 10% on tea? And sorry, this year the rate of the tea is increased by 15% on tea and 10% on sugar. So what you can see that the new price, right, for the sugar is going to be what? The new price I'm talking is 15% more. So it should be what? 100 plus 15, that is 115 upon X. And similarly, for sugar, it is increased by 10. So 100 plus 10 is what? 110. That divided by 100 into Y. Right. So now that I'm going to frame the next equation, and to do so, what I'm going to do is 100. This is the price. All right. This is the price of 1 kg because the amount is same. It's very important. Like if there is a mistake, this could be the mistake here is that the amount is same. That means the quantity bought is same. So still it is going to be 1 kg of sugar and 3 kg, sorry, 1 kg of tea and 3 kg of sugar. The sugar is what? Sugar price is this. So that is 3 kg of sugar is 108.60. Important thing to consider here, the quantity remains same, right? Just the price has changed. And that's why this will be the new equation. Well, I can reduce it or may transpose. That's better. If I transpose this number on the other side instead of reducing, you will soon get to know why I'm not reducing it first. This is how much? 330y. And if I take LCM and transpose 100 to the other side, I can see that the 100 multiplied by this is what the zero will get vanished, right? Decimal place is removed. Next, I can now say if I take 5 common from here, let's say if I take 5 common from here, as I can see that it can be reduced. This comes out of 23 times X, and this will be what? 66 times Y is equal to 108,600. Now, if I reduce it by 5, it's going to be what? 2 times and 1 times, 7 times, 2 times, 0 times. So we got this as the second equation. So I can write here the second equation we have obtained is this, that is 23x plus 66y is equal to 21720. And the first equation we has was this. So what I'm going to do elimination, as I can see that we need 23a. So I'll be multiplying 23 with this equation. And say if I write it over here after multiplying, you should do it in the exam by showing the step. I'm doing it directly. So 23 multiplied by this is what? 23 into x, and then 23 into 23 into 3, right? So it should come as what? 69. 69y is equal to 96 into 23. So then we'll be multiplying 96 with 23. It's coming 2208. It seems I have taken one extra zero or what? Yes, I have seen. There's a mistake, right? So this is only 10, right? So this is 10. Here too we have only 10. Okay, so it will come as 2. Yeah, that's fine. Now there's no zeros. Just an extra zero I took by mistake. Now I'll do elimination, and I'm subtracting these two equation. So I can say this get cancelled. So what I'm getting is minus 3y, right? And from here, if I subtract, that is 2208. If I minus, this is 2172, right? So it should come as what? 36 minus 36, as this is bigger. Minus minus get cancelled. So we get y as 36 divided by 3, which is 12. Okay. Once we obtain the value of y, I'm going to replace y from this equation. Let's say what I mean to say from here, from this equation, we're going to obtain y. One more time, I'll show you that this is what I've taken. And from here, I'm going to substitute. So let's say I write it over here and then substituting the y here. So this is x plus 3 times 12. Y, as you know, it's 12 is equal to 96. How much is this? 36. 36 is equal to 96. So x is what? 96 minus 36 is what? 60? It should be. So we got here as x, and then finally, I'll write this from here, where from it come. I'll be writing this as, say, the price of x is coming as, the x is what? That is the cost price of 1 kg of tea is 60, and that is the cost price of 1 kg of sugar is 12. So it's important to write down rupees here. So this is how we'll do this question. In the next question, it says places A and B are 100 kilometer apart. That means there are two places. Let's see if I make one diagram here. And these two places are 100 kilometer apart. So I name this point as A and this as B. One car starts from A and other from B at the same time. If the car travels in the same direction at different speed, they meet in 5 hours. So let's say if the car A is traveling in this direction and same direction, right? Obviously, they are going to meet somewhere beyond B. Right? Let's say they are meeting somewhere beyond B. Let's say C is the point at which they are meeting in 5 hours. And further, it says that if they travel, the second case, right? The second case is that if they travel towards each other, they meet in 1 hour. That means when the direction is opposite, that is A is traveling in this direction, they are moving towards each other. So let's say I took a point D at which they are meeting. In this case, they are meeting in how many time? In 1 hour. So let me once again draw the diagram and explain you. Let's say these are I took the car A over here, the B is over here. When they are moving in this direction, that is in same direction, they are meeting at say point C. And when they are moving in opposite direction towards each other, they are meeting somewhere between A and B. Let's say it is point D. So once we are done, we can take the speed of say one car. Let's say I took the speed of car, this Bx and this By. These are the informations that you should have before working out the question. And now we can begin with writing the statements needed for solving it. So what we are going to do is to first write on the statement over here. And the statement is what we are going to write here. Let the speed of car A be x and that of the speed of car B be y. Now case 1, I'm talking about the case 1. What we know distance is equal to? Distance is equal to speed into time, speed multiplied by time. So speed is x and time in case 1 is what? 5 hours. So we can say that 5 into x is what the distance traveled by A. So we can write distance traveled by A. So just by A will be fine here is speed into time. Speed is this and time is 5. So it's 5 into x, 5x. And if I say the distance traveled by B, so distance traveled by B is again the speed is y and time is 5. So it's 5 into y. This is what the distance traveled by A and B. So this is what we have to keep in mind. Once again, I'll keep it aside. Now from the figure, you can see that what is the distance traveled by A? Clearly, the distance traveled by A is from here till here. That is, this is AC, right? AC. And the distance traveled by B is what? BC. This is BC. And you can figure out what is this distance between A and B, which was given as 100 kilometer. One more time, A to C is 5x, B to C is 5y, right? And A to B is 100. So what do we conclude? From here, I can say that, let me write on properly. I can say from here, AC minus BC is 100 from the figure. And AC is how much? 5x. So this is 5x minus 5y is equal to 100. If I take x common, I get x plus y is equal to 20. So this is what we have obtained the first equation here. Now we are going to apply the same concept to the next part of this sum, that is the second. Now in the second case, now this time when they are traveling in same direction, that is opposite to each other, right? They are traveling opposite to each other. So we may erase this part, just focus on this part. So you can see that in the second case, the distance by A is what? Speed into time. Speed is x only. And how much is the time? Time, you can see it is 1 hour. So 1 into x, right? 1 into x. And distance traveled by B is what? 1 into y. And you can see that this is the distance traveled by A, that is AD in this case, and this is BD in this case. From figure, you can see that AD plus BD should be 100, replacing AD with 1x, which is x, right? 1x is x only. And replacing this with y, I get this as 100. So this is the second equation. Now, as you can see here, this is minus, right? Sorry, the first one I made a mistake. Here, this is minus. Now, you can see from here that if I do elimination, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply the elimination method here. So if I write the other equation below this, you can see that we can eliminate these two equations, right? So if I do elimination, where from this sign come? Right. I'll be going to add these two equations. So on adding these two equations, what we'll get here, y and y get cancelled. So we get x plus x, 2x, and this is 20 plus 120. If I reduce it, I get 60. So the value of x we got as 60. So this is 60 kilometer per hour. And to get y, I can substitute x as 60 in this equation. So 60 minus y is equal to 20. That implies y is what? 40 kilometer per hour. So we get the value speed of y as what? 40 kilometer per hour. So this is how the these questions can be done here. So in the next question, it says in a triangle, one of the angle is 50% more than the sum of other two angles. We have to find the largest angle. So let's, if I make a triangle here, see if I make a triangle. And if I name this triangle as say A, I can name it in any manner. That is say A, B, C here. It says that one angle is 50% more. So I can take say B, right? B being the largest. It is 50% more is what? 50% more means 150 by 100. One more time. 50% more is what? 100 plus 50, right? If you are aware of this, 50% more than the sum of the other two angles. So other two angle is A and C. Well, I can see this is the first information that we have, that is one angle is 50% more than the sum of the other two angles. Now continuing with the next part, let me once again figure out. I can reduce it right before obtaining next thing. I can see this is 3 over 2 times of angle A plus angle C. Now what I'm going to do is to consider this sum, right? A plus C. I'm going to take A plus C as something, say, let statement. Let A plus C as X and the other is what? B as Y. Now we have got a relation. The first relation we got from here is what? Y is equal to 3 over 2 times X. On transposing, what I can say that 2y is equal to 3x. Now check here. I take this as the first equation. All right. The second relation is what? The sum of three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So that's what I'm going to apply. That is angle A plus angle B plus angle C. So I'll write angle A plus angle C first and B later is equal to 180 degree. Check here. What is A plus C? A plus C is X. So I can write X for this. And B is Y is equal to 180 degree. It's the second one. So I'll apply substitution from here. What I'm going to do is to obtain y from here, which is 3x by 2. So x is x and y is what? 3x over 2 is equal to 180. This is how much? 5x by 2 is equal to 180 degree. That implies x is equal to 360 divided by 5. That comes out to be 72. So we got x, and x is what? X is the sum of these two angles. Well, as you can clearly see that together A and C is 72. So B is the largest angle. And how much is B? B is Y. So I'm going to obtain Y from here. Say phi. This is 3 over 2 times of Y, and Y is 72. Can be reduced by how much? 36 times. That comes out to be 108. So the largest angle, which is Y, is, which is B or Y, is 108 degree. Right, this is 108 degree. And we are not asked, moreover, we cannot find the individual values of this and this. Anyway, the largest angle is what we have to get, and the largest angle we got as 108 degree.